Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Chandra and I make videos about reading, writing, and all things books. Today's video is something I'm really excited about because for the Worldwide Write-a-thon I tried Dictation for the first time, and here's what I have learned about using Dictation. First thing is my word count went up so much. It made it a lot easier. I tried to do 10,000 words for the Worldwide Write-a-thon and I did not make it, but I realized I wasn't going to make it and I changed my approach midstream and it helped significantly and got me pretty close. I have a post on Instagram. I will share that below in the description. The first reason is my why. Like I said, I was struggling and I was desperate. I was like, I've got to be faster. How can I be faster? I move much faster. I talk much faster than I can type, so it's easier to get more words on the page when I'm just speaking. I don't self-edit as I go. Things just flow. It comes out how it comes out, and I can go back in and chop the words, and I know that, but it short circuits my brain in a positive way where I'm not thinking about everything too much. I'm just letting the words come out. I don't have to sit down to write. So if I'm really busy and there's other things that I need to do, even if I'm cleaning or organizing something while the stream is running, I can have my phone there and I can just be talking to it and set it down somewhere, maybe wash some dishes or something, and still be getting words on the page. I can do it anywhere. That's part of the third point. I can do it anywhere. I take my dog for a walk and I'll transcribe. I'll go for a walk by myself sometimes and I'll be talking. I have hands-free in my car, so if I get an idea, I can just start talking and capture everything, and that is super helpful. Again, with the time saving and the multitasking and all the stuff. It makes a big difference for me. Oh, I also use this when I'm in the shower and I have that moment of inspiration and I just want to bing, and then start talking to my phone. Absolutely can do that too. Here's how I do it. I know there's a lot of software out there. I've heard people talk about Dragon. I've never used that. I don't know anything about it. I just use my iPhone and Google Keep. There's a voice to text button at the bottom, the right hand corner. I just hit that button and I start talking. Now, the one thing I will say about this is you need to listen for the chimes. That would be the first thing. I use headphones most of the time, but you don't have to use headphones. It can be clearer with headphones, or especially if I'm walking, it's just easier if I've got the headphones in and I'm just talking as I walk. 2. I dictate onto Google Keep specifically as opposed to notes. I know that there is the functionality for notes for my phone, but with Google Keep, I can just open a browser window and I pin it to the top. It automatically pushes the last thing I dictated from the note. It pushes that to the top, and then I just copy and paste it over to the document that I'm working in. I work in smaller sections. What I mean by this is I always run Grammarly on what I've just finished dictating to make sure that I don't have any glaring errors, and it picks up most stuff. There's a few things where I have to go back and tweak some words or change it, especially if I have an interesting spelling for a name, but that's not a big deal. That's to be expected, and honestly, when I'm writing it into the Google Doc, sometimes I miss stuff anyway. So I just run the Grammarly over it real quick, and then I copy and paste it into my Google Docs. One of the things that I really like about this, aside from all the speed and all the advantages that I listed to begin with, I don't have to worry about spelling. I don't have to think about that. And as I said in another video, I do have a hard time spelling things sometimes. And sometimes, of course, when you're tired, your brain just deletes files without asking for permission. So it's really nice to not have to think about that and filter your words because you're like, I just need to get this down and I don't have time to look up how to spell that. It cuts all of that out for me. And it helps since I'm dyslexic. It does make a big difference. Number 2, the software is free. You don't need to buy anything additional in order to do this. And since it's Google Keep, you can download that on any phone, I believe. It's pretty compatible, and you should still have the option to do the voice to text. So that's another plus. And of course, with it being Google Keep, it transfers seamlessly from your phone to your computer or whatever other device you might be using. As long as you can get that app on both of them, you are good to go. The things that are more difficult about dictation or punctuation, when you are writing and you're doing dialogue, which typically tends to flow pretty quickly, you do have to make a conscious effort to put in the quotes, end quotes, comma, period. You have to get comfortable with speaking all of that. But once you practice a little bit, once you've done it a few times, once you've had to go back and edit them in, you won't make that mistake very many times, and it gets a lot faster. But that is a con. The other thing would be, it doesn't always pick up your words. If you're moving around or you're working on anything else and you're multitasking when you're doing this, you're going to drop words sometimes. So it's good to just keep an eye, be able to see that it is capturing what you're saying, and not so much worry about like trying to read it as you get it on there, but just making sure that the cursor is moving. That way you know it's picking up what you're saying. Number 3 is that it does shut off sometimes. What I mean by that is it's got a duration and you're speaking and then all of a sudden it'll chime and that'll let you know it's at its maximum. Or honestly, I don't even know exactly what it means. Sometimes it'll happen if I'm quiet for too long, it'll just shut off, or it'll still be when I'm speaking. But one thing I will say is don't start editing or touch the screen or do anything until it's done altering stuff, because sometimes when you're speaking, it'll look like it's typing crazy. And then after the chime goes off, it does like some kind of internal check, and then everything will just kind of like start flipping and all the words will start to make sense. Especially when you're saying names and stuff like that, it'll be like, I don't know, it's almost like it's looking for context. I don't know how these machines be learning stuff, but it be on point sometimes, you know? So just make sure that you leave it and let it finish processing before you make any changes. There's another thing that I have noticed, and it does an underline thing where if it's not sure what you said, it'll underline a word in blue. And you can go back and touch it and it'll give you options for what it's like. Did you mean to say some of these other things? Because this is what I have and here's what you may have said. So that's a handy function before you run Grammarly. You may want to check some of those. The other thing that I didn't mention at the beginning is when you hit the voice to text button, there's a pause and then it chimes. So you want to speak between the chimes, kind of like recording at the beep. It's pretty simple and self-explanatory, but it does make a big difference, and my speed has improved tremendously. That's all I have on dictation for free. If you have questions, thoughts, or ideas, feel free to leave it in the comment and I'll answer them as best I can. I've been using this process now for about a month, I think. Since Worldwide Write-a-thon is when I have been using it from. So I'll check and leave it in the description. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.